Couldn't recall anyone named Wilson. I was looking around with the other players trying to figure out who the heck he was talking to. Sorry, whom the heck? The next thing I knew, Coach Rogers was in my face. "Wilson, what are you waiting for? Go suit up. You're going in at QB." I couldn't believe it. We were literally that desperate, and I had never been more thrilled that so many people had suffered gruesome injuries. Hey, I'm not proud of it. It wasn't such a far-fetched idea that I would be an option at QB because only a few years earlier, I had finished my college career as a Hall of Fame quarterback at Ball State. My buddies now call it Bald State in honor of that state of my now non-existent hairline. They are real good at jokes. The point is that I had been preparing for this moment all my life. And finally, after there was literally no one left who could limp onto the field and yell, "Hut!" a coach was forced to inadvertently reveal my incredible talent to the world. This was really happening. The TV timeout was extended due to the rash of injuries to our team, so I rushed to the locker room and suited up. Putting on pads again was just like riding a bike, with a different kind of helmet, of course. Before I knew it, I was fully dressed and in the huddle with the other players. My hands were shaking, but I was ready. It was 3rd and long, and we needed a miracle to get back into this game. All Coach Rogers had said to me before sending me out onto the field as he shook his head in disbelief was, "Son, I guess just let her rip." I knelt down in the huddle and called for all fades. In other words, I was going to drop back and throw a bomb to whoever was open. As I walked to the line of scrimmage, the huge crowd suddenly went silent, probably trying to figure out who number 15 was and why he was lining up under center. I looked over at the stands to see my beautiful wife, Anne, sitting there. She looked stunned, but strangely hopeful. A single tear rolled down her perfect cheek as she mouthed the breathy words, "I love you." I winked at her slyly, causing her to blush. Before my eyes had left hers and rotated back to the linebackers frothing at the mouth in front of me, I was already instinctively barking out the signals. A slight breeze began blowing across the field, causing the mullet hanging out of the back of my helmet to blow gently, yet majestically in the wind. "Hut!" I took the snap and dropped back into the pocket. As expected, Richard Dent immediately beat his guy again and was instantly bearing down on me. I had anticipated this, so I simply gave him a little juke and eluded his violent pursuit, somehow leaving him face planted in the turf. Still got it, I thought to myself, but there was no time for celebration. I had a game to win. I looked downfield to see number 85 streaking behind the coverage. It was Jeff Chadwick. I calmly planted my front leg and launched the ball in his direction. To my surprise, it was the most beautiful post pass I had ever seen leave my hands. A perfect spiral sailing deep, deep down the left sideline. It must have traveled some 75 yards in the air. I kid you not. It was as if the sands of time had slowed to a trickle, so much so that I could see flashing lights from the sideline photographers' cameras flickering on the immaculately rotating ball as it headed directly toward Jeff's outstretched arms. The crowd, all 85,000 plus, began instinctively rising to their feet with a collective inhale as they anticipated what would be an historic moment, the comeback of the ages, the redemption of a franchise, the birth of a legend. The ball was mere inches from Jeff's hands as he was mere inches from the goal line. It was everything I could have ever... My water just broke. Wait, what?
Interruptions and reintroductions. Anne here, the mother of Dave's 3 children, and the one who actually yelled, "My water just broke," in the middle of his obviously fantastical dream. Don't get me wrong. He was an amazing quarterback in college with a real mullet, and I would have loved nothing more than for him to get called off the bench, basically as a spectator, into a professional football.